operating system. That's what Windows is. Windows is an operating system. And basically, an operating system makes your piece of hardware, laptop, desktop, doesn't matter. It makes it into a computer. It's the operating system that makes it. It's kind of like having a kitchen and having all the ingredients on the shelf. You could have rice, you could have flour, you can have eggs, you can have milk, you can have, chicken, whatever you have. You could have all those ingredients, but they don't make a meal by themselves. It takes a cook to make a meal, right? And if you think of the operating system is the cook that kind of helps put together all the components on a computer, the monitor, the disk drive, the keyboard, the mouse, and it makes all these things work together. So the operating system brings this piece of hardware to life is what it does. And it also provides a layer for people who build applications to build applications that will run on the operating system. And there's more than one company that makes operating systems. Apple makes Macs, and they make mobile phone operating systems for iPhones and iPads. Windows just introduced Windows 11, which is an optional upgrade. And then Google makes two operating systems, Android for mobile devices and Chrome for laptops that they have made Chrome operating systems for. But the thing about Microsoft is they make the operating system available to other companies like HP, Dell, Lenovo, whatever, right? And they let them install the operating system on their hardware and then resell it as a computer to consumers. So whenever you buy a computer with Windows on it, you are getting a computer that includes a Microsoft copy of Windows that has been installed by the computer company on your computer. And it works out of the box. But the computer company kind of packages them together. And so the operating system does a lot of things for us in the computer. And it's helpful to know a little bit about it because it's what really helps make this piece of hardware into something usable that lets us do work. We want to do work. The computer is a tool. We want to use it. It's kind of like like an oven, or it's like a drill or anything. It's just a tool to help us do things. And what we want to do with the computer is we want to run software. We want to run applications. So there's some terminology that goes along with technology. Okay, so one term is the background. And the background is the image that's on the back of your computer when you look at it, well, the screen of your computer when you look at it. There's something called the taskbar. That's a row along the bottom that has a bunch of spaces and icons and information that you can use. There's a start menu. That's what happens when you click the start button. And there's things called tiles in Windows 10. And there's also a search box. So these are some things to help you move around your computer and make better use of it when you use it. And we're going to take a look at these on my Windows 10 desktop. One of the things that your computer does is it interprets actions that you do. When you hit a key in a keyboard, the operating system sends a message to whatever you're doing on your computer. Hey, Bob hit the G key. Or if I click on the right click button on a mouse or the left click button on a mouse, the computer interprets a message. The operating system says, hey, Bob clicked on something and something has to happen on the screen. So the operating system is interpreting all of these actions that you do to make your computer work. And it does a pretty good job at it. So, because things generally work. Okay. Windows got the name Windows because it actually runs Windows. Okay, so what happens when you start an application, it opens up on a window, okay? If you start another application, it starts in another window. If you start another application, it starts in another window. And that's where Microsoft got the name Windows from, because whenever you start an application, you start a window on your computer, on your desktop. And that is where the application is viewable. So you can expand the window to fill the whole screen. You can minimize it, or you can close it if you want to. So those are some things you can do with Windows on your computer, but that's where it got the name Windows. They aren't the only one that makes a window operating system. Macs are window operating systems, and others are as well, but they claim the name Windows. There's some basic operations. When you click on your start button, that's usually in the lower left-hand corner. If on your taskbar, when you click the start button, you'll get some power operations. You'll get a search box. You'll find that. You'll see ways to check security and updates. We'll take a look at that as we go through Windows. Okay. So any questions so far from people? Let me check and see how we're doing. Anybody have any questions before we start getting into showing you where these things are? Okay, great. Ethel, did you have a question?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, so I'm going to bring up my desktop here. And let me change something here quickly. Gotta update something. There we go. Okay, so now you should see my Windows desktop, okay? And this is the background image on the back. There is a taskbar at the bottom. This thing along the bottom is the taskbar. Okay, and this is the start button on the lower left. This is a search box. And then I have some icons for applications here in my taskbar. And I've got some other small icons here that have more to do with some information that's useful to know about. This little icon in the lower right tells me if there's any notifications. That's when an application or a message comes in, or other things that'll happen. It'll pop up with a notification. There's a date and a time here, and I can look at the clock and see a calendar